You're welcome to our free online school, SkillBridge Institute. This time around, we'll be discussing about project management methodologies. So if we're talking of project methodologies, these are approaches which you can use to execute different types of projects. Methodology number one, it is what is known as Agile methodology. So in Agile methodology, we need to understand that work is divided in different splits. So let's say you have got a big project. That means what you'll be doing is that you are going to divide that particular big project into different splits. So in the first split, what you're going to do is that you're going to sit down, you plan. Then after doing your planning, you are going to develop that particular plan. You buy the materials which will be required for that particular project. You are going to make a budget for that particular project. Then by the end of the day, you are going to launch that particular split. In other words, you are going to finish that particular split. After finishing that particular split, you sit down again and you make another plan to say we're now going to the next phase of our project. Then you sit down, you plan again, you develop, you gather all the materials which are needed for that particular project. You look for responsible people. After doing all the work, then you finish that particular split. After finishing that particular split, then you go to another split. So you can make it can be 2 splits, you can make 3 splits, 4 splits, based on the workload which you have. We can give an example. You are constructing a house. Your house can be in different splits. For example, a foundation can be a split. Erecting a wall can also be a split. Even roofing can be another split. The advantage of using Agile methodology is that it is very flexible, because if there are changes, definitely you'll be in the capacity of accommodating those particular changes. So that is the advantage of this one. The disadvantage is that it can be time consuming, and at the same time it needs high collaboration, because without collaboration it is very difficult, because you'll be needing those particular frequent meetings. So that is on Agile methodology. Another methodology is what we call Waterfall. So as you can see here, on Waterfall methodology, you can see we are having a tap, and the water is just flowing up to the end. So in Waterfall management, you plan once. Once you plan, you initiate whatever you're doing, you plan, you create, then you close. So in other words, once you start Waterfall methodology in your project, once you're going to start your project, you do your project until the end of the project. So you start until the end. There will be no need for splits within the execution of your project. So the advantage of this one is that this one, it is very simple to implement, because you plan once, then you do it until the end. But this one cannot be good for those particular dynamic work which needs to frequent meetings. So it can be very difficult for such type of work. Then we have got another project methodology that we call it Scrum. So in Scrum, we need to understand that this one is part of the Agile methodology, in the sense that work is also divided in splits. So it can be used in things like when you're developing a phone application or computer application. So it works in the way that the splits are read by whom we call a Scrum Master. So a Scrum Master is the one who leads this particular framework. So there are also frequent meetings, just as the Agile methodology. The advantage is that it promotes teamwork. So people, they are able to work together in this particular methodology. At the same time, it encourages adaptability, because it is easy to adapt since you've been meeting frequently. then this one can be complex for a larger project. You cannot use Scrum on a bigger project. It is feasible for small projects. Then it also needs frequent communication. So you need those particular frequent communication with your team members. From there, I've got Kanban methodology. So on Kanban methodology, what you do is that you write a chart. On that particular chart, you write the to-do list, the list, those things which you are supposed to do, the things which you are planning to do. Then you can also have some developments, those new developments which you are doing, and the new developments which you are done. If maybe you're testing something on your project, you can also have those people which are testing right now, and you can also have got those particular things which you have done testing. And if there is a certain work that has been fully completed, it also appears. So what happened is that a task today can be on the to-do list, but once it is finished, the very same task will be removed from here. It will go to the completed task. So that is the thing. So the advantage of using Kanban method is that it is easy to follow where you are, because you are able to follow to say, I'm here, we are going here, this is what I've already done. So this one, it is very easy to follow. But the disadvantage of this one, it is that it cannot be used for complex projects or big projects, because for big projects, you cannot write all the tasks on the chart. You can't. So this one, it is just good for small projects. From there, let's go to Prince2. So Prince2, this one, it is a project in controlled environment. So this particular type of methodology requires a hierarchy. So it needs a big hierarchy to say that there should be bosses who are making decisions at the top. And those particular decisions will be affecting the flow of that particular project. So that is what you need to understand in Prince2. The other thing that we need to understand is that in Prince2 is usually done in those particular big projects. For example, government projects and other big corporate institutions, they use this particular type of methodology. So for example, the project, they'll sit down and decide to say, we're going to start this particular project. And after doing that particular project, they'll start directing people. So in directing people, they'll start training people to say that this is how we are going to do this particular project. And after training the people, they'll start now initiate to say these people are supposed to go on the ground and start executing that particular project. Then as the people are executing that particular project, they'll be controlling. They'll be controlling to say that those people who are on the ground, they should be able to give the intended results. Then they'll be managing the delivery. Then they'll even manage the boundaries. They'll manage that the people, they shouldn't move away from the boundaries. Then from there, they cross that particular project. We can give an example to say a government is thinking of building a hospital. So if they're building a hospital, they're going to have got board of directors. The board of directors will be there to make the decisions. Then we are going to have the project managers. The project managers will be getting directives from the board of directors, and the project managers will be managing the daily activities at the work. Then we are going to have, let's say, team leaders. The team leaders, they'll be overseeing different departments, but the whole decisions will be coming from the top. The project manager cannot make decisions. So that is how Prince2 works. The last one, it is hybrid methodology. So in hybrid methodology, this is where you are trying to combine two or more project methodology so that you can be able to execute a particular project. So for example, you can combine a waterfall methodology and the agile methodology, but in a single project. So that means in a single project, there will be some work which will require you to have those particular frequent meetings, which will require agile methodology. But there will be some issues which once you plan once, you can execute those particular things up to the end. So that particular work might need waterfall methodology. So that is how you can do it. So the advantage of using hybrid methodology is that it can be used for those particular complex projects which need diverse methods of managing that particular project. So it can be very good for such kind of projects. And at the same time, it is good for big projects like corporate projects, government projects. The disadvantage is that this one, it needs somebody who is very skilled, because it is not easy for someone to manage a project which has got diverse needs. So that is the disadvantage of this particular hybrid methodology. So at last, we need to understand that we need to choose the right project methodology or the right project approach for the right project. The things that we need to take away is that Agile, this one, it is best for dynamic projects, those projects which are changing. And this one, it is focused on customers. It is customer focused. Waterfall, it is those particular good for those projects which are just structured, which they don't need those particular frequent meetings. Then Scrum, this one, it is better for those particular projects which needs teamwork. Kanban, it is great for those particular small projects where you need to have good a visual representation to say we are here, we are moving towards this particular direction. Prince2 as well as hybrid, these ones are suitable for larger projects and those ones with diverse needs. So that is what we need to understand. But the key point that we need to understand is that you need to take the best methodology for the best project. Thank you so much.